Assalamualaikum and Eid Mubarak. I'm Siddiqua Shahnawaz.
And I'm Zahra.
Welcome to our art class.
Today we're going to be painting a beautiful Islamic cityscape in watercolors, showing the evening sky with the Ramadan Eid moon.
Yeah, we'll also learn how to draw Islamic architectural buildings. So these will be buildings with like cool features like domes, arches, tall minarets, and we'll also learn how to draw a palm tree. So the supplies you need for this project are
watercolor paints,
paintbrushes,
pencils, and an eraser,
a Sharpie,
some white acrylic or poster paint,
a piece of paper. Make sure it's a little thick and not a very thin paper so it can absorb water and not warp.
a bowl of water,
And napkins, quite a few napkins. Keep them handy because in this technique we'll be painting like outside the edges of the paper. So make sure your surface is like, waterproof. You can have like a thick mat like this you could paint on, or just keep like a few napkins underneath, just not to damage your surface. So let's get started.
Before we start our painting, first we need to prep the paper. We're going to take some water, and not too much. If you get too much, then just do that. And you're just going to dampen the paper. Make sure it's not too wet, it's damp. And if you see some extra water down here, you could just do some quick vertical strokes to bring it down.
Yeah, make sure they are smooth horizontal strokes, and you cover as much of the paper as possible. Try not to leave any dry spots.
Otherwise, it won't blend. The reason we do this is so it blends easily. It helps a lot.
So we are prepping the paper before the actual painting begins.
So don't put any paint on it yet.
There you go. Feel free to paint over the edges. This project is a little messy, and that's okay. So once your paper is evenly moist, now it shouldn't be dripping wet, just evenly moist, let's prepare our paint. So now if you notice, the paint that comes in paint palettes is always very dry. So what we need to do is add some moisture to it.
So the colors we're going to be using is this light yellow orange, this dark crimson red, this beautiful purple, and this dark blue. So the reason we're using these colors is because we're trying to do like a sunset.
Yes,
So
it's
it's
the
going to
evening
look like
sky.
the evening sky.
When we go out to see the Ramadan moon. So we have added water to only the colors that we are going to use, and to help us begin painting. There you go. The first one is ready. We'll start from the bottom and start with even horizontal strokes. Gentle, even horizontal strokes. Let's take some more.
And when you add the water to the paint, it's almost like the paint comes to life.
That's like a gorgeous sunset yellow. How beautiful is this color?
It's like orange, yellow, like marigold color.
It's in between. So let's say we paint up to about
like a third, like almost a half, but not quite
there.
So now we're going to take our red.
It's also a deep red. This is also called crimson.
And just slowly
look at that.
paint it just towards the orange or the yellow, so it blends and creates that sort of orange color in the middle.
See the beautiful color it makes as it blends? It's just lovely.
And you're not gonna go to the top. Stop at about here. You don't wanna go in too much. Just this much is perfect.
Next, our color is purple, and we'll start blending that into our crimson red.
And now don't do the purple all the way at the top. You definitely want to leave some space for the blue. The blue is like the least color. You still want to have it. It just adds to it. Now you're going to take the blue and just put one stroke of that just at the top. And blend that into the purple.
Just a little bit of dark blue, a deep violet blue on the top to give it an impression of dusk, the time when we see the moon. And our
Perfect.
paper is ready. So we will put this aside for it to dry. And while it dries, let's do some quick drawing exercises to learn a bit more about Islamic architecture. All right, so let's learn how to draw buildings with Islamic style architecture. Now let's draw some simple rectangles. One could be a little tall, the other one could be short and wide. Let's draw something maybe over here that is tall and slender. That is very thin and tall, almost like a pencil. There you go. We have 3 different shapes. Maybe we'll make one here on the bottom. Okay, so basic shape of a building that you can see from front, a rectangle. And now to add this beautiful Islamic architectural style, let's add some platforms, these small rectangles on top.
That the domes rest on.
These 2, yes. And now it's time to add the gorgeous Islamic domes. So the way to draw it is it's like, you know, a U or a bowl that's like just upside down, or a very arched rainbow with a little pointed top. So let's repeat that over here. All right, we got this. And let's turn this tall rectangle into a minaret. This is where the azan is called from. It's usually a very tall building, like a tower. Let's give it some balconies over here. Just simple rectangles, small rectangles.
Make sure they're spaced out. You don't want all of them clumped at the top.
And now the basic outline of our building is ready. Now let's give it some more amazing features. Like we have these beautiful tall archways and these gorgeous entrances. For whoever's been to Ziyarat, you can see these gorgeous tall entrances to all the shrines and harams. Again, it's like an upside down U that kind of has like a pointed top.
You can draw some little ones if it's like a building with like classrooms or something. Or you can make it super tall where there's no more space for any.
There you go. Let's turn this into like, let's say a masjid wall, not like, you know, a main building, but like just a wall alongside. So this can have like small arches come out. These are more for decoration. And we have a wall. Maybe we can even add some pillars over here. So it's the same thing, the same idea of a curve going up and it comes back down. So same idea. So if we make a lot of these in a row, we end up making something that looks like a walkway or a passage.
Okay.
And now maybe we will learn how to draw a palm tree.
Don't forget to leave a little space for the palm tree.
Yeah. Let's maybe make 2 tall curved lines next to each other, also called parallel lines. This is just to give that natural shape of the bent of a tree. And from the top, let's make some fireworks coming out, which are like these curved lines, literally jumping out from the center. And now to complete the palm tree, all we have to do is make zigzag lines like this. These type of lines connect the end to the center. So here we go.
And there you go.
And we have our basic drawings ready. And by now our painting must have dried. So we will put this away and begin drawing on a final product. So let's begin and make sure that all the drawings, all the buildings are on the bottom of the page and not like in the air over here.
So like this.
All right, here we go.
And you can change it up a bit from what you drew earlier. And you don't have to make the pencil lines too dark since you're going to be drawing over them later. Just like before, you're just going to draw the minaret and all the other buildings. Maybe this time I'll make building on this side.
Yeah, just any basic rectangles that you find everywhere. General shape, just make sure you make one tall one for the minaret. We have our basic drawing ready, our basic silhouette. And now we will start adding the arches, the domes, the windows, and we'll also complete this palm tree.
But first, don't forget the platforms for the domes. That's what the domes rest on. Platforms. And on top, the domes. And they don't have to be perfect. You can fix any mistakes you've made with the Sharpie later on.
Just simple rectangles and an upside down U shape.
And what you can do here that we didn't do in the last one is to some of them you can add like a little moon. Just make it look even more pretty. And you don't have to add it to all of them, just maybe one or two. And you can't forget the balconies on the minaret, because that's where people stand to look down at the amazing view. And you don't have to make a balcony at the bottom, because no one's going to be standing there on the bottom. And then arches.
Let's maybe add like a tall one here and maybe smaller one next to it. So literally you can put the arches anywhere you like as doors, windows.
Anywhere.
It's the same shape. And you can repeat it as many times. You can have fewer windows. It's all up to you. Just gonna add like one over here, a central one. Yep.
And take your time, no rush.
And here's the palm tree. Again, like fireworks line is coming out of the central curved line. All right, this trunk and zigzag lines. Go. All right, so here we go. Let's Sharpie our drawing now. Let's go zigzag. Put it in. And we got this tree almost ready, actually. There we go.
And you're gonna keep doing that until It is done.
Yep, we've outlined this part. Let's quickly outline this. It's gorgeous how the black looks so strong against the bright yellow background.
Just beautiful. And after this, we just have one more step, so we're almost done. Not quite there yet.
Alright, balconies of the minaret, let's get these. Let's get our wall.
And it doesn't matter if those lines are overlapping, because we're going to be coloring it in later anyway.
Yeah, so just see with simple shapes, you can make an entire silhouette of a city. Now all we have to do is leave these windows and color in the rest of the building. So let's go. You can make as many or as few buildings as you like.
And now you're just gonna color it in. And be careful to keep inside the lines. It's okay if you make a tiny mistake, but you don't want to go like
Alright, now this large one.
and we're almost done here.
Alright, very close to finishing.
If you get a little bit tired in between, just close the cap and just shake your hands.
There you go. A little bit more and we are almost done.
Almost there. You can do it.
It's always nice to outline the windows first, because that will help you guide your coloring.
That's right.
done with the silhouette. I'm just wondering, should I leave this dome like this or just fill it in? Maybe I'll just add some more color. Yeah, because leaving a little bit of the sunset colors in there looks like it is reflecting the sunset colors like a golden dome. That will just cover it up for now. It's up to you because you're the artist here. And are we ready for the final step, Zahra?
Almost.
Almost, okay. For this step, you can either use white paint, either tempera paint or white
you can
acrylic
use a white
paint.
color pencil.
Use a white
If your
color
thing is
pencil.
really light, like mine, then you can use a color pencil because it'll show up more. But if it's dark, like my mom's here, then you can use paint.
Let me try using the pencil just to show this last step. I'm going to reach over there and let's make that evening, that night before Eid, when we are eagerly looking for that gorgeous moon in the sky. So I guess a white color pencil works well too, in case, you know, you don't want to use paint. Yeah, there you go.
But
Let's make some stars. Just a few stars in the sky. Now notice that you will see more stars towards the top where it is darker, where the sky looks more violet. And fewer stars towards the bottom. Let's make maybe a few more.
It's okay if you get Sharpie because we have our protective surface here.
Yeah.
So it's just
Now you see some stars shine brighter than others. Some are like further away from us. So there'll be different sizes in these tiny dots, but that's what it takes.
Almost done.
You could
Just
use
have
this
to fill
white
in these
pencil
last dots.
or paint, and our evening sky for Eid is done. Here's our, you just have to add the moon and a few stars.
And this part is optional. I like to do it when I'm fixing something. Sometimes there's some pencil lines outside, so I just like to do this to really get it perfect. Because you want your artwork to be nice. Because you worked hard for this. Okay, now that that's done, like my mom just showed you, we're going to do a little Eid moon up here.
Let's add a moon symbol on the building as well while we're at it.
And just some stars. Stars can just be circles. If you want, you can make them like this, just a little shape in there. But I like to mainly do circles. It's a lot simpler. I like to make the stars in groups, but you can just do one here and there. I don't know about you, but I like a lot of stars in there. Especially if you notice there are more stars towards the top. You can just do one or two down here. Usually not too many stars like to go down there.
And our artwork is ready. Yeah.
And you're done.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this art class. Our
Yeah.
projects are ready.
It turned out really nice.
And I hope you enjoyed making them as much as we enjoyed making this video for you.
Eid Mubarak and Khuda Hafiz.
Hafiz.